Strike a tuning fork in an empty room and it sings a solitary note. But place a second, identical tuning fork across that room. Strike the first, and without a single physical touch, the second begins to vibrate. It hums. It awakens. Simply because it is engineered to the exact same frequency. This is the physics of acoustic resonance. Now, remove the metal. Replace it with human consciousness. Imagine this resonance spanning across a city, across a continent, across the vast, unyielding architecture of time. A sudden scent of cedar wood in an empty elevator. A song playing from a passing car that perfectly articulates a conversation you never had. A sudden heavy gravity in the center of your chest at exactly 4:44 p.m. You look around. The world is carrying on. The barista is pouring coffee. The traffic light turns green. But your reality has just been pierced by a ghost who is still breathing. The rational mind immediately demands an explanation. The question forms sharp and desperate. Are they sending this to me? Is my unawakened counterpart thinking of me right now? Is this a message? You do not need to be told about the pain of separation. You are living inside its architecture. But today, we are going to dismantle the illusion of what these signs actually mean. We are going to step out of the waiting room, because what is happening to you is not a cosmic cruelty. It is not a breadcrumb left to keep you tethered to someone who cannot hold you. It is something far more profound. To understand the signs that haunt your waking life, we must first marry the mechanics of the human nervous system with the laws of quantum physics. When the rational mind cannot explain why a specific name appears everywhere, it begins to fracture. You begin to question your own sanity. You walk through your daily life feeling as though you are reading a secret language that no one else can see. The psychologist Carl Jung called this profound phenomenon synchronicity. He described it as a causal connecting principle. These are events connected not by a linear chain of cause and effect, but by a deep, undeniable meaning. When you see their birth date on a receipt, or when you wake up entirely consumed by an emotional state that does not belong to you, your ego immediately creates a narrative. The anxious heart is the part of you that holds the space. It is the part of you that remembers the absolute depth of the bond. This part of you interprets these moments as a direct line of intentional communication. You tell yourself they must be missing you right now. You tell yourself they must be realizing the gravity of their mistake. You build a cathedral of hope on the foundation of a single coincidence. But to find true peace, we must look much deeper than the ego. We must look at the invisible fabric of reality itself. In the realm of quantum mechanics, there is a proven phenomenon known as quantum entanglement. When two independent particles interact deeply enough, they merge. They begin to share a singular quantum state. If you separate these entangled particles by thousands of miles and alter the spin of one, the other particle alters its spin at the exact same moment. Distance means absolutely nothing to the entangled. Space and time become irrelevant. You and the avoidant soul interacted at the absolute deepest level of human consciousness. You collided, you entangled. You became an undeniable part of a shared energetic system. So the exhausted mind asks if they are consciously sending you these signs. The answer is no. The unawakened counterpart is not sitting in silence, visualizing a sequence of numbers, hoping you will magically receive them. In fact, they may be actively trying to suppress the reality of the connection. They may be running. They may be building massive internal walls to protect their fragile ego. But the soul does not obey the walls built by the ego. The soul operates on a frequency that the conscious mind cannot control. When the avoidant soul experiences a sudden, uninvited flash of memory, their internal state shifts. When they feel a fleeting moment of profound regret, their energy changes. When their heavy nervous system armor drops for just a fraction of a second, their quantum particle spins. And because you are the eternal holder of space, your particle spins in direct, immediate response. You feel their sudden anxiety in your own chest. You feel their suppressed longing in your own bones. It bleeds across the miles and pours into your shared energetic field. You are feeling the distant echo of their subconscious mind. This energetic bleed is a quantum truth, but it is only half of the equation. To understand the complete picture of why you are seeing these signs, we must simultaneously acknowledge your biology. We must look at the survival machinery operating inside your own head. At the very base of your brain sits a complex network of neurons called the reticular activating system. This system acts as a strict biological filter for your reality. It constantly scans your environment for whatever your subconscious mind deems critically important for your survival. Because this specific connection completely shattered your previous understanding of love, your nervous system coded this person as a matter of absolute survival. They became synonymous with your most profound spiritual awakening. Therefore, your brain is now actively hunting for their specific frequency. It filters out millions of pieces of irrelevant visual and auditory data every single second. It does this just to highlight the one passing license plate that features their initials. It ignores 1,000 different faces in a crowded room, only to lock onto the one stranger wearing their exact cologne. Your biology is working exactly as it was designed to work. It is trying to keep you safe by tracking the entity that so profoundly altered your internal world. The signs you see are not a simple fairy tale. They are a complex, magnificent collision. They are the exact intersection of your hyper-vigilant nervous system and a very real, undeniable quantum entanglement. You are experiencing a biological radar responding to a quantum echo. Recognizing this reality is the first vital step toward reclaiming your sanity. It removes the desperate, exhausting need to decode every single shadow. It allows you to see the scientific and spiritual mechanics behind the magic. You are not crazy. You are simply entangled and highly perceptive. But knowing how this happens does not automatically stop the ache of separation. To truly stop the ache, we must completely change our understanding of why this is happening to you in the first place. Here's the truth that will finally set you free. The signs are not an instruction to wait. They are not a cosmic command to hold on. For years, you have viewed these synchronicities entirely through the lens of lack. You saw a specific sequence of numbers and you immediately felt their absence. You heard a familiar song and you asked the universe when they were coming back. You allowed your peace to be dictated by a ghost. We are completely flipping the script today. We are dismantling the illusion that keeps you tethered to the waiting room. Imagine walking past a large mirror in a completely dark house. A sudden flash of lightning illuminates the glass for a fraction of a second. In that brilliant flash of light, you see a magnificent, radiant figure. The beauty of this figure takes your breath away. It shatters your previous understanding of what is possible. But if you do not realize you are looking into a mirror, you will make a tragic mistake. You will spend the rest of your life sitting in the dark, right in front of that cold glass. You will wait endlessly for the lightning to strike again. You will wait for that magnificent stranger to return to the frame. The unawakened counterpart was the lightning. They were never meant to be the sun. They were a sudden, violent, beautiful flash of energy. They illuminated a depth of unconditional love within you. They revealed a spiritual vastness that you did not know existed. They cracked open your heart to show you a divine capacity for connection. But the reflection you fell so deeply in love with was not them. That boundless, terrifyingly beautiful ocean of love was always you. You were completely mesmerized by your own spiritual reflection. The signs you see every day are not reminding you of them. The signs are reminding you of yourself. When the universe sends you a profound synchronicity, it is not pointing a finger at the avoidant soul. It is not whispering about what you lost. It is not asking you to mourn an empty space. Instead, the universe is pointing a firm finger directly at your own chest. It is declaring the magnitude of what you have awakened. The universe is using the avatar of your counterpart simply to get your attention. It uses their face, their name, and their memory because that is currently the only frequency you are willing to listen to. The heavy gravity you feel in your chest is not a magnetic pull toward their physical body. It is a massive gravitational pull toward your own higher consciousness. You have been tricked by the purity of your own devotion. You genuinely believed you were meant to be the eternal holder of space for an unawakened counterpart. You thought your spiritual assignment was to wait for them to heal. You thought your purpose was to stand like a lighthouse on a rocky shore, keeping the light on until they finally navigated home. But you were only ever meant to hold space for your own profound evolution. They were simply the catalyst. You are the final destination. The collision with this person was designed to break you open, not to keep you chained. It was designed to force you out of a mundane existence and thrust you into spiritual sovereignty. Your ego attached to the catalyst because the ego demands a physical form to love. The soul, however, only demands expansion. Once you deeply, intellectually, and spiritually grasp this reality, the endless waiting finally ends. The bone-deep exhaustion begins to dissolve. The synchronicities stop being painful reminders of their physical absence. Instead, they become incredibly empowering validations of your own divine presence. You no longer look at the clock at exactly the right moment and feel a pang of sorrow. You look at the clock and you feel a surge of power. You recognize that you are entirely aligned with the rhythm of the universe. You are no longer a victim of a tragic spiritual romance. You are a sovereign being who has successfully integrated a massive spiritual awakening. You are the ocean. The avoidant soul was simply the storm that temporarily stirred your waters. The storm has passed, but your incredible depth remains. You do not need to chase the storm. You only need to realize the sheer magnitude of your own waters. This is the paradigm shift that changes absolutely everything. This is the exact moment you stop waiting for the lightning and finally become the light. How do we actually embody this monumental shift in perspective? How do we stop the physical nervous system from violently spiraling the next time their name appears entirely out of nowhere? Intellectual understanding is only the very first step of the journey. The conscious mind can easily grasp the concept of the mirror, but the physical body still remembers the lightning. Your biology is still programmed to react. The habit of longing is etched deep into your neural pathways. To truly break free from the waiting room, we must move from passive observation into active daily alchemy. We must give the holder of space a completely new set of instructions. There are 3 profound internal movements you must make the exact moment a synchronicity presents itself. These are not mere coping mechanisms. They are highly specific psychological tools designed to fundamentally rewire your energetic field. The first movement requires you to master the mirror of somatic resonance. When you see a sign, the immediate, deeply ingrained habit is to weave an elaborate story. You see their birth date on a clock and your mind instantly races. You ask yourself if they are thinking of you right now. You wonder what the universe is trying to tell you. You desperately try to decode the hidden message. You must completely stop this narrative. You must drop the story the very second it begins to form. Shift your attention entirely away from the external trigger and direct it violently toward your own physical body. Notice the immediate somatic response happening beneath your skin. Does your chest suddenly tighten? Does your breath become shallow and rapid? Does a sudden wave of heat wash over your neck and shoulders? Your nervous system is bracing for an emotional impact. Instead of analyzing the external sign, you must regulate the internal symptom. Take a slow, deliberate breath deep into the base of your belly. Speak directly to your nervous system. Tell your body that you see the pattern, but you are completely safe. Tell yourself that you do not need to solve this mystery right now. You must take the frantic energy out of the analytical mind and anchor it firmly in the heavy reality of the flesh. The second movement is the practice of the law of energetic return. Every single time you look at a synchronicity and pine for the avoidant soul, you are actively bleeding your own precious life force into an empty room. You are taking your immense spiritual power and projecting it outward onto a ghost. You are feeding an illusion while starving your own reality. The next time a sign stops you dead in your tracks, you must consciously reclaim that projection. You must physically and mentally pull your energy back into your own sovereign space. Speak a new truth aloud or firmly in your mind. Declare that the breathtaking beauty you see in this connection is actually your own beauty. Declare that the profound depth you feel is your own magnificent depth. You are the singular source of the magic you have been relentlessly searching for. Call your energy back to your own center. Command it to return to your own heart. Watch how incredibly quickly the heavy desperation fades when you finally realize you already possess everything you are so desperately longing for. You are not empty. You are simply leaking your power. It is time to seal the leak. The third and final movement is establishing the anchor of divine neutrality. The ultimate goal of this spiritual integration is not to somehow stop seeing the signs. You cannot control the vastness of the quantum field. The true goal is simply to stop caring about them. We want to reach a profound, unshakable state of divine neutrality. When you inevitably see the recurring numbers, or when you hear that specific song playing in a crowded room, you must allow the experience to pass completely through you. Imagine the sign as a strong gust of wind passing through the leaves of a massive, ancient oak tree. The leaves will naturally rustle. They will dance in the invisible breeze. But the thick, deeply rooted trunk of the tree does not bend. It does not sway. It remains perfectly still. You must become the trunk of that tree. Acknowledge the synchronicity with a gentle internal nod. Recognize it simply as a beautiful reflection of your own highly awakened state, and then seamlessly return to your coffee, return to your work, return to the beautiful, tangible reality of your own life. You do not ever need to decode the wind. You only need to let it blow past you. You are the master of your own focus. You alone choose where your energy flows, and from this day forward, it flows entirely back to you. The universe is not cruel. It is fiercely, mathematically precise. It will use whatever tools necessary to strip away your illusions, to break open your heart, and to force you to step into your sovereign power. For a time, the tool was them. For a time, the tool was the pain of separation. For a time, the tool was the haunting of the signs. But you are outgrowing the tools. You are no longer the anxious heart, begging the mirror to show you a different reflection. You are the architect of your own peace. Let the avoidant soul walk their path. Let them sleep if they must. Let them wrestle with their own shadows. Their journey is not your assignment. Your assignment is right here, in this breath, in this beautifully quiet, completely whole version of you. You are not waiting anymore. You have arrived. Until next time, protect your peace and remember who you are.